Willow Valley Police Department.
Can you put me through to Detective Phillips?
What is this in regards to?
A murder. Maybe 2.
Please hold. This is Detective Phillips.
You, handle missing persons?
I do. Who exactly am I speaking to?
My name is David Vandermeer. I live at 2618 Mountain Drive. You can send a squad car if you want, but I don't think it'll be of any use.
2618 Mountain Drive, go.
I just want to talk, Detective. You just let me tell my story, and then when I'm done, well, whatever happens, happens.
All right, David. I'm here to listen. Tell me exactly what's going on. This is about a murder. Are you okay, David?
Am I okay? Well, that's a pretty big question. I mean, compared to some, I'm doing all right. But compared to others, I might as well be 6 feet under. But hey, can't complain. I've got my fair share of regrets, of course. But in the end, some folks don't even get to have regrets. So I guess I'm lucky in that regard. You ever have something so haunting it sticks to you? Like a bad tattoo? I've got a memory like that. Something I've never shared with anyone. Something I can't get out of my head.
It's okay, David. You can talk to me. Take your time.
It was the summer of '89. Me and my buddies used to hang out down by Pitt Lake. We were young, dumb, and didn't live anywhere but the present. Just a bunch of kids looking for a good time. But that day, well, I made a mistake. A big one.
Please, continue, David.
You know how it was back then. A few drinks, you're still okay to drive. I'm not making an excuse. That's just how things were. I got behind the wheel anyway. I was sure I could handle it. Never had a problem in the past. The road was long, and my patience was thin. Just a dumb kid in a fast car. Oh, rain began to fall, the beginnings of a storm. The mist in the air altered the world around me, turning shadows into silhouettes. The fog grew thick. My eyelids felt like they were made of lead. I was just struggling just to stay awake. I blinked. It was just for a second, I swear, a single second. And when I opened my eyes, there was a figure in the middle of the road. It was like something out of a nightmare. I slammed on the brakes, but it was too late. I hit him, head on. Her body crumpled on impact. By the time my car stopped, the body was at least 30 feet back. A mess of flesh, bathed in red. Blood was pooling around it, seeping into the ground like some macabre painting. Closest thing to hell on earth I'd ever seen, at least at the time.
I know this is hard for you. Please, go on.
Fear can make a man do crazy things. In that moment, it got the better of me. I'm not proud of it, but I left. I had a girlfriend, a scholarship, a family. I couldn't afford to be caught up in something like that. And besides, there was nothing I could have done to help him. Nobody could have survived that. Woke up the next morning thinking it was all a dream. Or maybe a deer, some trick of the fog. I knew it wasn't true, but I almost believed it. I returned the next morning, but there was nothing. No body, no blood, no evidence. I remember being relieved, thinking I'd gotten away with it. Nearly did. A year to the day is when the storm hit. A raging tempest, unique enough to be called an unprecedented weather event by the news. But for me, it was all too familiar. The rain pounded against the windows, just like it did that fateful night. It was the strongest sense of deja vu I've ever felt. I couldn't stop staring into the darkness. I was hoping to see something that would make sense of it all. Then a flash of lightning pierced the night and lit up the world. That's when I saw it. A shadow. The shadow. The man I killed. I never saw his face, but I could never forget that silhouette. It was over in a second, consumed by the dark of night. I held my breath. Another flash, and I saw everything. It was the figure, all right, same as before. But this time, I saw its face. You might think I'm crazy, but I swear to you it was real. Its face was my own. I stared. My own eyes stared back. Then, just like before, the darkness swallowed them up. I stood there the rest of the night. The lightning had stopped, but I swear I could still make out the shadow's figure. After that night, things returned to normal. But I knew it couldn't last. Sure enough, next anniversary, the storm rolled in again. Same storm, same visitor, same night. The only difference was where it stood. It was closer. Not by much, a single step at most, but enough to make my skin crawl. This went on for 20 fucking years. It never stopped, no matter what. I've tried everything. Moving, cameras, guns, the cops, all wasted effort. This figure, it only exists for me. My annual shadow, closing the distance with each passing visit. Last year was the worst yet. The figure was right at my door, just inches away. I stood in my living room, frozen, watching its silhouette through the glass in the door. And for the first time in 20 years, the figure moved. Almost imperceptibly, they raised their hand to the door and turned the handle. They were trying to get into my house, trying to get to me. I had locked the door, of course, but I don't think it's going to be as simple as that. They left just before dawn broke, but I know they'll be back. And when they return, I really don't think my lock will be enough to stop them. I've thought about what'll happen when they return every single day since. And you know what? Tonight's the night I find out.
David, this is a lot you've given me here. Just know that I'm here to help you. I sent a squad car out. Should be arriving soon. They'll keep you safe. Once you're back at the station...
No, I appreciate it, but I don't think that will be necessary, Detective.
Listen, David, we can figure this out together. We can get you help. We can figure out this shadow figure. Just hang tight. Stay on the line.
I appreciate you listening, Detective. Maybe I'll see you soon.
David, don't hang up.
It's unlocked. What took you so long?